Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Simplicity TV, the couch sessions, which are my favorite because it is the comfiest. Okay, so questions that have been coming in, so many of them, and one of the big ones is about gas and bloating and what you can do to help to navigate this, diminish, and get rid of completely, because you can 100% get rid of those symptoms, gas and bloating. So first thing that I'm going to tell you is you really need to pay attention to which foods are triggering you the most. Is it coffee? Is it sugar? Is it dairy? Is it eggs? Is it raw vegetables? Is it cheese? What the heck is it that you know every single time that you have it, you actually say to yourself, I'm gonna pay for this, but it tastes so good, I'm gonna pay for this, and you get gassy and bloated. So eliminate those. That would be the first thing. That's the easiest thing. That's the free thing. You just eliminate the things that you know cause you triggers. Now, if you're at the stage where you feel like you have so many different food sensitivities and reactions, you don't even know what is causing the problem anymore, then what I would recommend is that you actually do a food sensitivity test. So we offer food sensitivity testing within the company. It is a mediator release test. So it's called an MRT. It's a dried blood test that you take at home. We drop ship it to you. You take the test. All your results come back. It'll even pick up on things like different yeast and fungus and candida. And so it helps us to create a better kind of sense of menu for the foods that are most balancing to your body and the foods that are not. Now, the next thing that I'd recommend is that you actually make sure the food you're eating is good quality. Is it organic? Is it non-genetically modified? Is it in season? If you find you have difficulty with raw foods, have you tried roasting them, sautéing them, having them in soups and stews, and baking them? That is going to break down a lot of the really active enzymes in them and make them easier for you to break down. Now, you don't want to boil them because then you take out all of the enzymes and nutrients. But roasting them, blanching them, those types of things, much better for the system. The other thing is a digestive enzyme. So I'm a huge fan, and I pretty much recommend for every single woman that I work with in my practice, because honestly, everyone comes to me with digestive issues. It doesn't even matter if it's, a thyroid issue they have, they can't lose weight, their hair loss is, just happening at a crazy amount. And we start to trace it back, they always have issues in the gut. So digestive enzymes before lunch and dinner, I think, is a really powerful, inexpensive, and easy tool for yourself. I love St. Francis Canadian Digestive Bitters. It's in a liquid form. I keep it on the kitchen table most days of the week, or where we have our supplements by the blender. You do, 3 full droppers in a little shot glass with water. Take it back. The other thing I love is that, say you sit down to eat and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to take my enzyme. Not a big deal. You can take it at that point. The other thing that you could do, and this is for those of you who don't have major issues, but enough that it's irritating you, half a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and about a half a cup of water. You could even have this as a sipper while you are eating. So I don't want you drinking huge mouthfuls of water with your meal, because it can definitely dilute the enzymes from the food and that your body is producing to break the food down. But small sips of that apple cider vinegar and water is going to help increase your hydrochloric acid, increase the enzymes that are in that digestive pool, and help you break your food down. Okay, and then there's other companies as well too that have really good plant-based. There's chewable digestive enzymes, there's papaya tablets. There's a lot that you can choose from. Keep it simple, don't spend a ton on them. And if you're not sure, use the ones that I recommended, like the St. Francis or the apple cider, or ask somebody at your local health food store, okay? Now, the other thing that I would say is how much time is happening between your meals. So 2 ends of the spectrum here. You either eat all day long, constantly nibbling, never giving your body the opportunity to actually break down and digest what it is that you've just had, which is also a sign and signal of unstable blood sugar, and you definitely want to work on that. Or you're the opposite end of the spectrum. You start your day off with something like coffee, very acidic and very depleting for the gut. So this will impact your hydrochloric acid, lower digestive enzymes, and it's also very demineralizing, okay? So if your day starts off with coffee and then you have nothing else for hours because that coffee is an appetite suppressant, not a fantastic way to move into the day and avoid the gas and the bloating. Okay, so if you're gonna have coffee, what I'd recommend is you need to enhance it. You have to add some collagen, maybe add a little bit of fat into it. I am not of the camp, and I am not a huge fan, and I know lots of people don't agree with this. I'm not a bulletproof coffee kind of girl. I don't love the idea of putting in butter into your coffee and upgraded collagen so that you can fast longer, because that is what people use it for. They have that because they're like, and then I'm not hungry, and then I can go hours and I can be super productive. The women I work with, their adrenals are fucking fried. I just said 2 F words back to back, okay? Their adrenals are fried, their thyroid is not in a good condition, their gut is not in a good condition, their sleep is out of whack, their hormones are out of whack, and their weight is a struggle. Setting yourself up for the beginning of your day to be that, I have personally, I don't know you, I don't know what you're doing, I have personally not found this to be a successful route to go. What I'd prefer, if you want to have a coffee, use something that is organic, that is fair trade, that is an adaptogenic blend. This is not a sponsored episode, I'm just going to be honest. Something like the Organo, which is medicinal mushroom based, or Four Sigmatic has an adaptogen coffee that you could use. Then add in a good quality collagen. I love Sprues, I love Genuine Health, they're fantastic. So the collagen is going to help the lining of the gut. The collagen is also going to help the integrity of your mucosal barrier, that gut lining. Keep those junctions tight. Then you could add in a little bit of fat, but instead of doing, you can do some organic grass-fed butter. You could do ghee where they've clarified it. They've pulled the dairy out. Because I guarantee if you have a lot of gas and bloating, dairy is probably one of your triggers, so butter may not be the best route for you. So maybe use the clarified ghee, or you could use coconut oil, or you could use an MCT powder to put in there. And then blend that up with your hot water and enjoy that. Then as you move into your day, probably no longer than about 4 hours between your meals. So for most people, and again, I do not know you, I would say typically breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 3 meals a day with probably 1 snack in the afternoon, because that's usually the longest stretch of time between lunch and dinner. We want to restabilize your blood sugar. And so if you can start to follow that type of routine, nourishing your body 3 at the most 4 times a day, using digestive enzymes, really being honest with yourself about those triggers and creating an elimination for your body, I think you're going to notice some fantastic results right out of the gates. And none of those things that I talk about should cost you very much money at all. Now, if you're sitting there and you're like, check, 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 I have tried all of those things and still I have issues, then I recommend that you work with us. You are a perfect candidate to come into the Hormone Project, where we can do some additional testing. We can really determine what's going on, not just on a gut level, but on a whole health, whole body level, and then help to put something together for you to give you some relief. And that's what I would say. Those are my top tips and suggestions. I hope that helps you. I hope it's got you thinking about some different possible triggers for your body and also solutions. And as always, engage with us. The reason I put out all of this education is so that we can start to have a better conversation with one another. So respond to this email, send me a message. I would love to connect with you. Have an awesome rest of your day.